That's right. We are early, ladies and gentlemen, because the party is getting started early in New York. The King of New York is getting ready to show up. So I said, let's get this party started early because the people deserve just that. So let's go ahead and jump over live to the Bronx because Byron Donalds is live. We're jumping right in. Here we go.
Whoa, this is a family affair. This is for all of the people across our country. We say, let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Oh, I'm telling you, Bronx, you're making me feel good because here's what I know. Your energy, your support, we're going to do something that the media says can't be done. The Democrats take New York for granted. They don't believe it will be done. But in November, we can turn New York State red. Last thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to lead the stage because there's somebody I know y'all definitely want to hear from. I know you want to hear from him. In our politics, they tell us that black votes are Democrat votes. I mean, don't boo me, boo them. They're the ones with the camera, tell them. They tell us that if you're Puerto Rican or Dominican or Peruvian or Venezuelan or any other nationality out of Latin America, that you can't be a conservative. That's what they tell us. But I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And I know the conservative streak that is in the heart of New Yorkers. And so we're going to do a really big thing in this country in 2024. We're going to change politics. We're going to change the status quo. There are no racial votes in America anymore. There are American votes in America, and we are going to save the greatest country man has ever known. Hey, real quick, I want to let y'all know, because I knew I was coming to the Bronx. I was in my pinstripe suit and everything. Got to make sure, because you never know who shows up. But New York, man, I love y'all too, New York. Let's do something amazing. Let's do something spectacular. Let's do something monumental. Let's together make America great again. God bless you, New York. God bless the United States of America.
Is that our future VP? I like that choice if that's who it ends up. So, yeah, I had this scheduled for 5:30, but I don't know if Trump's going to get in early or not. I want to show you guys something really quickly. Give me just a second. I still don't have everything set up here, but I mean, there's a lot going on right now that I want to show if I can. I'm trying to keep an eye on everything as well. So let me pull up the feed. Turn my volume down because I have so much going on these days. We've got all this stuff right now going on. Where is... Here we go. No, that's not what we want. We want right side broadcasting. That way I can keep an eye on everything. Okay, so check this out. Check out this awesome shot. This is Trump leaving This is Trump. If it'll go back there. Okay, here we go. Desktop right here. This is Trump leaving to head to the Bronx.
See you later.
What a freaking Chad, man. Walking out of Trump Tower, heading to the Bronx. What a Chad. You got meltdowns like crazy right now going on. But you also have lines of people that are getting ready for President Trump. They can't wait. So you got lines of people. Trump rally attracts tens of thousands of people in South Bronx. The crowd is growing. Fantastic to see.
Quick 2-hour break, and I just got back out to Crotona Park. Now, when I came over here, I was completely shocked because this line was not here just 2 hours ago. Now, this is one road right here, right? The beginning of the rally is up ahead still. This line stretches all the way down this road back here, and then you have groups of people up front. So I just wanted to give you guys an example of how drastically this scene has changed in just 2 hours. I left at around 12:30, 1 p.m. And no, I lied. I left at 1:30, an hour and a half before doors open. Doors are now open, and these streets are absolutely packed with people waiting to get into this rally. It's crazy. All right, y'all, so I took a quick...
You love to see it. You love to see it. You think Joe Biden can pull a crowd like this? We all know the answer to that. We all know the answer to that. Here we go. I can't play the music. But yeah, I mean, Trump he brings everybody out there, man. Look at the line. Look at this.
I don't think we're getting it.
And I got to show you this post from Dom Luker. You love to see it. You love to see it right there. Good stuff. All right. I have got to try and I don't have the chat link. So let me get this chat link right now set up for all of you guys. And then I'll be able to show the chat as we like to do around here. Welcome in, everybody. We are going to be covering the Trump in the Bronx rally. This was not a scheduled stream, but the people demanded it. So because the people demanded it, I had to make it happen. So that's what we're doing right now. Let me get this set up really quickly. Copy, boom, and chat is on stream right there. So hello, everyone. Welcome in to an emergency CobraCast. Hot Fart Fernando becomes a new member. Brock just dropped 20 gifted memberships. Let's go. Thank you, Brock. Jerry becomes a Cobra legend. That's a tier 3. That's a tier 3. Zinny Biscuit says, evening Snake Pit. This week has been a Monday for me, but I'm just going with the flow. Well, hopefully you enjoy this stream, Zinny Biscuit. Greg Kirby says, bro, done. Marlena says, thank you for covering this, Jeremy. This is awesome. Appreciate all that you do. Long live the 199. Gerald Armstrong says, I don't think I've ever seen that many white people in the Bronx. Cellular Dream says, where'd it go? Jeremy, my balls are itchy. As is Wonky Eyebrow says, hail Jeremy and hail the 199. There's the 20 gifted from Brock. Let's see. Steel Valkyrie, who's a tier 3, says, yo, Snake Pit and Jeremy. Formerly Alice in Blunderland. Got you. Here just wanting to say hi and Trump for America 2024. Welcome in. Nice to see you here. Golden Nuggets says, let's see, I'm laying low as far as supers go. I spent way too much and I'm coming off some meds that might make me gain weight. I'm paranoid, so hail chat. We'll still be in the chat. Hail MAGA, and hail the 199. Absolutely, man. Chill on the super chats, okay? Chill on the super chats. Don't spend too much money. Take care of yourself. We're live on Rumble. We're live on Kick. We are awaiting the great President Trump. Look at the scene right now in the Bronx. Look at the scene right here. Look at this.
The correspondents in the field, the studio. You know, we're not backed by any of those left-wing corporate.
People are so excited for President Trump. Let's see. Juice Cannon for 10 says, talk about your time with EVS. I will not. I'm not going to get pulled into any stuff that's going to get clipped. You got to be smarter than that as a streamer. So there you go. Thank you for the $10. But yes, we are ready for the great MAGA King himself. The great MAGA King is going to arrive in New York. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this one. Look at this one right here. Look at this one right here. I got to find it. John Leguizamo started whining. If I can find it. Right here. Look at this clown, John Leguizamo. These weirdos are losing their minds. Donald Trump and I are both from Queens. I love to go back, but he can't. He's not welcome there, just like he's not welcome in Manhattan, and he knows it. Donnie, if you're going to keep coming to NYC, stick to the courthouses. He's getting roasted. He's getting absolutely roasted. Unbelievable. So there you go. You got to love it, man. You got to love all of these celebrities. AOC is melting down. AOC's losing it. I mean, right here, AOC, because the weather, they said the weather was going to be bad. AOC tweets, God is good. Wait, now you're going to acknowledge there's a God, AOC? Now you want to acknowledge there's a God? Pretty interesting timing right there, don't you think? Don't you think? Yeah, man, it's been wild to watch this meltdown going on. They are all losing their minds as we await the great MAGA King. So here we go. All right, so thank you guys for being here, and hail to the chat, hail to the 199, hail to the snake pit, and let's get ready. Let's get ready. Here we go.
What are we facing? We're facing the likes of Canada and Brazil and China, and hopefully not worse. Social credit scores, like in China, right? Control of the population. Propaganda to the nth degree. This is the free.
So Trump is supposed to be there. He was scheduled to be there at 6 o'clock Eastern, but it looks like he's going to get there a little bit early. That's why I started my stream a little bit early. So we shall see. Ira Brownridge says, the Bronx is my old stomping grounds. Hey, let's go. Movie Times today with the gifted membership. Thank you for the gifted membership. That is greatly appreciated. Terry says, fuck the Hollywood elites. Well, I think we all can agree on that. Look at this crowd of MAGA red hats. Look at it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Swig of water for the working man. That's good water right there. Swig of water for the working man. Let's see. Your lag is bad still, Valkyrie. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see. Hail to the chat. There we go. Zinni Biscuit with the hearts. There we go. And again, thank you, Brock, for those 20 gifted memberships. Probably going to have a big crowd here today. Probably going to get some new members here to the Snake Pit. Obi-Wan John with 5 gifted memberships. Let's go. Darian Murphy says, hail D-Day Cobra, hail chat. Trump 2024, let's go. Thank you. Trump might be getting there here in the next few minutes.
So that's directly from the studio at Right Side Broadcasting Network. He actually pages through and reads what you guys put in there. So on Rumble, go ahead and look in the chat there. Say things that you'd like to say to President Trump. Say things that you'd like to say to Right Side Broadcasting.
And again, the Democrats, you did this. The Democrats, you brought this on, okay? You decided to bog this man down and put him in nonsensical court trials, keeping him tied into New York, and he's doing exactly what he should be doing with it, twisting it to his advantage because he is a master showman. That's what he's doing. And they can't stop him, and it drives them crazy. It drives them crazy. Let's see here.
Folks. What's going on, man? What's your name?
David.
David, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
What are your thoughts about this fun scene here?
It's an historic event that I can tell you. It's something that we did not expect. I don't think anyone in the world expected it. To have such a diverse situation here of a crowd. I think the majorities are minorities here, actually. The majority is a minority group here. African Americans, Hispanics, Jews, white, working Americans, college educated, non-college educated.
Are you a Trump impersonator?
No, I'm not.
Sounded like it for a second.
I'm not. There's people that can do it actually better than me, but it's just a great place to be right now. I think this energy, this is what New York needs throughout the year. Because New York has been through some tough times. The economy is not good. Crime is up. The migration problem is like, especially here in this region, in this area, it's incredible the mess that a small group of people can do to a state and to a country. And we're here to support this president. You know, he's the guy.
Amen. What would be some of your messages right now to people watching? Just what would you say to encourage them?
If you basically get to work, because all hands on deck. All hands on deck. This is probably the most important election that is coming up because we're like so down the wrong path that it's like the chances are slim. And we got to work hard.
I got to catch some of these super chats as they're coming in. Zao says, is it Zao? Zao? Cobra Cast for the win. Thank you. Dr. Kaladin says 199 scan in, thumbs upping the stream. Let's go, gang. God bless Trump and God bless America. Thank you. Let's see. Jerry says, I've got to minimize this a little bit so I can see it better. All right, here we go. Jerry says, I came across your channel during Super Tuesday coverage. I really enjoyed it and have been watching ever since. Keep it up, 199. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. That is awesome. And I'm glad that you've enjoyed our continuous coverage here. You know, all I care about is President Trump getting back in the White House and making America great again. We're going to be covering that all the way up until the election. And that's a $20 super chat, by the way. And so I really do appreciate your support. And I'm glad you're happy. If the people are happy, then I guess we're doing something right around here. And that's all that really matters. Let's see here. Okay. So we are currently awaiting the MAGA King. The left's brains are going to melt. The tears are going to be delicious. Let's listen in. Where's our Skywalker? DFS says, Jeremy, have you met Melanie Mack yet? Dude, I would let her give me AIDS. Calm down, bro. Calm down. I've met Melanie multiple times. Melanie is awesome. She's a good friend, and she's awesome as hell. So, damn, that's, hey, got to shoot your shot, I guess.
You know, we need to get back to that. We need to get tough on crime and tough on immigration. I think that's the two keys here in New York.
Hey, man, David, nice to meet you, man.
Hey, I respect it. Go for it, brother. You got to.
Come on, turn around here. All right, next guy. Let me see that shirt real quick. 45 and 47. You know, we should add 46, if you know what I mean. Hey, what's your name? Don't forget, fireaoc.com. There you go.
That's right.
What are your thoughts about this place, man?
I love it. I hope it gets back to the old days, the 80s and 90s, like when Reagan was in office. That's what we need. All this bullshit with Chuck Schumer. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Cuss!
Chuck
Let's
Schumer.
go!
It's a joke.
So, back in 2016 when President Trump won, what were your thoughts right away? Were you like, okay, what's going to happen? Or did you know, hey, man, this guy's going to do good for us?
I was with him from the beginning, man. I mean, the guy's a smart man. Everything he does comes out amazing. And, you know, everybody's going to spread lies, and that's what happens in this world. They don't want anybody to make it. You know, they all got to make their money under the table.
Here we go.
Gentlemen, please welcome the next president of the United States.
Let's go.
President Donald J. Trump.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you very much. This is some turnout. This is some turnout. And I want to thank New York's finest. They just brought a lot of additions. So we have people, thousands of people outside that can't even get in, but they'll get in eventually. We appreciate it. New York's finest. Hello, New York City, and hello to all of the incredible, tough, strong, hardworking American patriots right here in the Bronx. Who would think? Who would think? I'm thrilled to be back in the city I grew up in, the city I spent my life in, the city I helped build, and the city that we all love, New York City. And I'm here tonight to declare that we are going to turn New York City around, and we are going to turn it around very, very quickly. We're going to bring safety back to our streets. We're going to bring success back to our schools. We're going to bring prosperity back to every neighborhood and every borough of the greatest city in our land. We're going to reduce taxes. We're going to bring businesses and big taxpayers back to New York. Gotta bring them back. Gotta bring them back. And we're going to make New York bigger, better, and more beautiful than ever before. And that includes right here in the Bronx. And it's going to be done and funded starting on January 20th, directly from our great and beautiful White House. Is that okay? For my whole life, I always thought that this city is a monumental testament to the power of the American spirit and the American dream. When New York started as a small, rugged Dutch trading post near the tip of Manhattan in 1624, what you see around you is nothing more than wilderness and marsh. but by the muscle and backbone and genius of the people of New York, we built the city into the towering forest of iron, aluminum, concrete, and steel. We made this city and state into the capital of global commerce. We turned our hometown into the bustling center of a confident, glamorous American culture, and we inspired the entire world. We inspired the world. No matter where you went on this planet, everyone knew that when you said, "I'm a New Yorker," it meant you had smarts, you had grit, you had energy, and above all else, you had heart. You had heart. Big, big, beautiful heart.
Thank you, Eric.
Everybody wanted to be here. New York was where you came to make it big. You want to make it big, you had to be in New York. But sadly, this is now a city in decline. Throughout my life, I've seen New York through good times and bad, through boom times and crime waves, through market crashes and terrorist attacks, but I've never seen it quite like this. We have filthy encampments of drugged out homeless people living in our places that we've spent so much time with children where they used to play. We have lunatics killing innocent bystanders by pushing them onto the railroad tracks for sport. Our it's a sad thing. Don't worry. It gets positive. Don't worry. It gets so positive. Remember, we're going to win. We're all winners. We're going to win so big, we're going to make it bigger and better than ever before. Remember that. So don't worry. By the time the other 6,000 or 7,000 people get in, it'll be very positive. Our subways are squalid and unsafe. The ceiling tiles are falling down, and they look worse than a third world country. The medians of our highways are crumbling. Our sidewalks are littered with garbage, bottles, and trash. But worst of all, the discarded needles from people that so desperately are in need of help. And we have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers and giving America the middle finger. But we are not going to let this continue. We are not going to abandon our hope and our pride. This city has given us so much, and now it is time that we are going to give it back. Together, we are going to make New York City great again, and simultaneously, we are going to make America great again. Thank you. I have come tonight to talk about solving problems. The simple fact is Joe Biden is not getting the job done for the Bronx. He's not getting the job done for New York, and he's not getting the job done for America. He's incompetent, ladies and gentlemen. He is grossly incompetent. I will get the job done as I did for 4 years, and I will get it done fast. And remember this, if a New Yorker can't save this country, no one can. No
Damn,
one.
what a line. There you go.
Get me the snake, please. The snake. Thank you, everybody. What a crowd. This is something. You know, we wanted to keep it small because who knew? This is like a love fest. Love fest. It's a love fest. We love you. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Wow.
This is awesome.
Who said we're not going to win New York? We're going to win New York so bad. You know, if we win New York, we win the whole thing. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? We take back our country and we'll do a job like nobody's ever done before. And what we did for 4 years was incredible, but we also learned a lot. We're going to get in there very fast with the right people, great people, people that are tested and true. Years ago, there was an ice skating rink, the Wallman Rink in the middle of Central Park. You know that story? That had been under construction for more than 10 years. They couldn't get it open. It was a renovation. They couldn't get it done. Mayor Koch was at his wits' ends. They just couldn't get it finished. They couldn't get it built. They couldn't get it open. People wanted to skate before their children turned old. Almost $20 million was spent over a long period of time. It was an embarrassment to the city. Every day they'd be laying the copper pipe, and every night that same pipe would be stolen. And then they'd start all over again the next day, and it would be stolen. This went on weeks and weeks and months and months. They poured the concrete in small patches in wrong directions and at different heights. And they took their advice from a refrigerator company from Miami, where it's 95 degrees out. It was a total mess. They just didn't know what they were doing. And I saw this, and I wanted my children to be able to ice skate before they didn't care about ice skating. I looked down on the rink, and I said, what is going on? Years and years. So I volunteered, and I took over the project and did a good job. And when I took it over, I said that if it cost more than $2 million, I would pay for it, the entire amount. But it cost far less. The first thing I did was call the Montreal Canadiens hockey team in Canada, right? Isn't that better than a refrigerator company from Miami? They didn't know what we were talking about. But the Montreal Canadiens knew, and they were really nice. I'll never forget how nice they were. And they told me that you don't want to use copper tubing and gas because the gas is very delicate and it leaks. It's very fragile. It just doesn't work. You want to use rubber hose. I said, I like that. That's a lot cheaper. Water and salt. The salt makes it so the water doesn't freeze. It's called brine. And you're going to put that under the concrete. You're going to pour the concrete over the top. It's going to be great. It's going to work. Not going to leak. It's cheaper, faster, and it works all the time. And when we opened, there were no leaks. There were no problems whatsoever. Anyway, I started the project, laid the rubber hose, mixed the water and the salt beautifully together. I was down there when they were doing it. I said, you got to do it right. And covered the entire rink with concrete in 4, literally, you had to see this scene, concrete trucks operated by the Teamsters. Do we have any Teamsters here? Oh. Oh, you got to make sure that O'Brien, he's a good man. He endorses Trump. I think he's going to, actually. But the Teamsters, it stretched all the way. You had trucks stretching all the way from the Wallman Rink, which was, let's say, at 60th Street, all the way back to Harlem. One contiguous pour. It was a day and a half of pouring concrete. One contiguous, a giant surface. As you know, the rink was completed in just 3 months for far less than the $2 million projected. The biggest expense was actually the demolition. That is the demolishing of everything that was built so incorrectly, so badly over a 10-year period. The biggest cost was demolition, taking it all down and starting all over. We opened with a ceremony with all Olympic gold medal winners, including the great Peggy Fleming, Dorothy Hamill, Scott Hamilton, and all of the others. Every one of them was there. It was a beautiful night, beautiful weather. I'll never forget the evening. It was one of the most beautiful. My parents were there. Now they're looking down on us. They say, wow, that's my son. Can you imagine? That's my son. Can you imagine? He's being tried in a court with a crooked judge. Can you believe this? Can you believe it? And highly conflicted judge at that. But everybody was there, and it was really something to behold. It was an incredible experience, and one of the great experiences of my life in New York. We opened it. It's been successful, and successful ever since. What a great, great experience. It was beautiful. And, you know, a lot of it's common sense. You'd like to say the Republican Party is the party of common sense. You don't go to Miami when you want to make ice. You go to Canada when you want to make ice, right? Or you could go right down the road in the Bronx to Ferry Point, right? Everybody know about Ferry Point. It was another disaster, a development where the city had spent over 29 years, almost $300 million trying to develop it into a luxury golf resort, anything. They'll take anything. They were spending money. You know, trucks were going here, dumping, getting filled up, moving it here, dumping, getting filled up with the same stuff. This went on for years, back and forth, the same stuff. They were feather bedding. They were doing lots of bad things. But really, they didn't know how to get it done. They had no idea how much money they were spending. And when asked how much they spent, they said, we just don't know. That's been going on for years, decades. They were unable to do it. And at the time, the mayor, Michael Bloomberg, said, no, it's all right. It's okay. Now, Michael Bloomberg was the mayor, and he called me. He said, I have to get this done before I finish my term. It was very important to him. He was embarrassed by it. Everybody was embarrassed. It was Mayor Koch. It went through a lot of different mayors. Almost 30 years, remember that. And he said, in all fairness, he said, I want to get this done, and you're the one that can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And I said, and I will do it. I will get it done. And we got it done before he finished his term, which was great. But there were no other bidders to my knowledge. And I took over the project, spending only my money to build it. And I called all of the contractors together. These were tough people. These were tough, hard people. Many of you are probably contractors on that site. Come to that. And I said, look, fellas, you guys have made a fortune on this thing for years and years against the city. It's time we get together and build it. Let's get it built. Let's do it right. And let's get the hell out of here. We owe it to the city. And they worked so hard, the roughest, toughest contractors in New York. They had spirit like you've never seen before. And it was magnificently designed by the great Jack Nicklaus, who told me, I don't want to make any more money. They paid me enough. Everybody get paid a fortune. Jack said, I don't want money. I just want to see it get built for the people of New York. And that's what we did. But everybody, just like Jack, they said very similar things. These guys were rough and tough, and they made a lot of money, but you'd think they'd want to make more, but they didn't. They just wanted to get it built. And in just a little more than a year, so this was going on for 30 years, including, think of it, just a magnificent thing to watch. You had to watch these people working, just the opposite of what took place for the first 29 years. But we had a magnificent world-class golf course that many of you have played now. And it's rated as one of the best public courses in the country. And then a short while later, we built a beautiful clubhouse, one of the prettiest I've seen, built it, completed. The project was absolutely beautiful. It opened to great fanfare and great success. And do you want to hear the end result, though? Should I? Should I go off teleprompter and tell you the end result?
Here we go.
You think Biden goes off teleprompter? I don't think so. He's no good on teleprompter. No, but okay, so I did this beautiful job. And then we had a dispute over January 6th. We had a dispute. And they said, January 6th, we want to terminate his agreement with the city. I had a long-term agreement with the city. And they sent me a notice of termination. I said, wait a minute. I just spent $25 million building it, built this magnificent clubhouse. It's in full operation. It took you 29 years. You were spending hundreds of millions of dollars. You couldn't get it done. And the neighborhood came to court totally for me. The Bronx neighborhood. It's in the Bronx. It's on the East River in the Bronx. And we went to court. The city sued to break my agreement that they had just made. And I had done such a great job for them. And it was accolades everywhere. Golf Magazine, all of the big magazines were saying, what a great job. They terminated my agreement, and I went to court. And I will tell you, I had a very good experience. We had a Supreme Court justice named Deborah James. And I have to give her credit. I didn't know her, never met her. Deborah James, a African-American woman who came to my defense. We explained it, and the city explained it. They said, we want to terminate it. They had no reason. And we said what we just said. And she looked at them, and she said, in effect, how dare you? This man came in. He put up his own money. He did an incredible job. You were building it for 29 years. How dare you ask for this to be terminated? How unfair is that? Deborah James, a great Supreme Court justice. That's all I can tell you. And we won the case. But it's not easy doing business in New York, I'll tell you. Not easy. So I just appreciated that. I had to tell that story. And as you know, then I renovated Grand Central Terminal. I built the Grand Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street and Park Avenue. And as part of that, I renovated the beautiful Grand Central Terminal, did a really good job on that. And then I was very much responsible for the construction of the Jacob Javits Convention Center, where Hillary Clinton was going to have her big evening. That was not good. Remember? We had the glass ceiling. You know, we built glass ceiling. She said, we're going to break the glass ceiling. It didn't work out.
He knows what he's doing when he mentions her.
You know, I'll tell you a little secret that I don't think I've ever... I hated the concept. I said we have to get on with our country. We have to win against Russia. We have to win against China and North Korea, all the different countries we're at loggerheads with. But as long as you have a smart president, you're going to win those battles. We're winning all those battles, even with the fake Russia scam, which made it harder. But you hated that. And then you see what they want to do to us, to me, to us. And they come along and they don't mind because Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of our country, has no sense, doesn't know what he's doing, grossly incompetent, and our country is going to hell, but we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around fast. Because above all else, and I say this and I believe this on New York, is you are different. You do know that. You know that when I called for this rally, we said, let's just have a meeting. Don't call it a rally. And so many people showed up. I said, like it or not, this is a rally. This is as far as the eye can see. You have to see the lines outside. They're going for miles. But when we saw it and we saw the love, because I called up this morning, do the people like me or do they hate me? They said, they don't like you, sir. They love you. I said, good, thank you. So I appreciate it. And I love you, too. But above all else, boy, look at all the cameras back there. That's amazing. That's the fake news. Yeah. You know, they'll say tonight, Donald Trump spoke to a very small crowd of people in the Bronx. It was a very hostile crowd, very hostile. They hated him very much. No, sometimes they're okay. You know, I agreed to do a debate with crooked Joe Biden on CNN with fake Tapper. And I think they'll be fair. Does anybody think they'll be fair? I might be. That's all right. When they said, here's your story, you can have a debate on CNN with fake Tapper as the primary host. And I said, I'll do it. Because you know what they thought is you'd say CNN, and they'd say various people on the show, various bankers.
Fake Tapper is the best name ever.
Fake Tapper. And they thought I was going to reject it. I don't want to do it. Then Biden would say, I offered to debate, but he wouldn't do it. So they said, we want to have a debate. I'll take it. Well, we haven't even told you what the debate is all about. Then they said, today, they said, we'd like to set up tables so you sit down. I said, I don't want to sit down for a debate. Let's go. At some point, so we're not sitting down. We're going to be standing up for the debate. And here's what you know. If crooked Joe Biden makes it through the debate, which I think he will, they're going to say it was one of the great debate performances in history. Yes. One of the greatest debate performances. But there they are. And we're on every network tonight.
He's rolling. He's rolling. Sit back, baby.
Fox.
He's rolling.
We're on all of them. So have a lot of fun, but we're on all of them. So they understood. They understood before anyone how big this would be. And you got to see what's back there coming in. Thank you. Thank you. But above all, New Yorkers have something called common sense, and we do have common sense. An old-fashioned American common sense is exactly what I intend to bring back to the White House, just like we had for 4 years. You know, we had 4 of the greatest years in the history of our country. We rebuilt the military, we cut taxes, the biggest tax cut in history, the biggest regulation cut in history. We defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS, and we did it in about 1/100th the time. They said it would take 4 to 5 years. It took me like 2 months, right? Because we have an incredible military, and we're not allowed to show. They had Afghanistan, the worst pullout, the most embarrassing day in the history of our country. It's probably the reason, a piece of it, why Russia went into Ukraine. They said, these people are incompetent, we'll go in. So Russia going into Ukraine would have never happened. None of this stuff that you see would have happened. Israel would have never happened, the attack on October 7th, and you wouldn't have had inflation. As soon as I get back into the Oval Office, I am going to pick up the phone and I'm going to call your mayor and your governor, and I'm going to say, this is President Trump, and I want to come back and help. Look, you have a Democrat governor, you have a Democrat mayor, and we are going to work with them, and we're going to get this state and this city at a level that it's never seen before, frankly. I think we can do that, too. We're going to be helping them a lot, much more than anybody would expect. It doesn't matter whether they're Democrats or Republicans, because this is about our city and our country, and it's really about the people. And in this case, the people of New York City, New York State. We're going to make you very, very happy. And Biden can't do it. He doesn't know he's alive. You know, see all the stairs here? Stair, 2 of them behind me, 1 in the middle. When he's finished with his 2.5 minute, you know, do you ever watch a speech? They last for about 1.5 minutes. When he's finished with his speech, he can never find the stairs. He can never find the stairs. And when he does, it's not a pretty picture either. Thank goodness for Secret Service. They come up and they guide them off. No, this is not what we need. When you see President Xi of China, when you see Kim Jong-un of North Korea, when you see Putin, and you see all of these people, they're at the top of their game, whether you like it or not, and they can't believe that this has happened to the United States. We have lost respect all over the world. We were the most respected country in the world 4 years ago. We were respected more than our country was ever respected 4 years ago, and now we're being laughed at. We're like a joke, and that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're going to do whatever it takes to fix our roads, bridges, and highways. We're going to take back our parks, not just for children, but for everybody. We're going to renovate New York's subway system so it no longer looks like it hasn't been cleaned since 1932, but rather it will be the most beautiful transit system anywhere in the world. I don't know if you know it. It's by far the biggest infrastructure, subway infrastructure in the world, and we're going to make it by far the biggest, and now we're going to make it by far the best. We're going to make it beautiful again. And a lot of it is topical. You know, the expensive work people don't understand because they're not in construction. It's topical work. It's topical. It's built. The expensive, the hard, the labor, the money, the big stuff is done. We're going to make it beautiful. We're going to make it good. And most importantly, we're going to let New York's finest do its job. The transit cops do their job. We're going to make it safe. Most importantly. And importantly for the people that are before me today, we are going to make life in New York affordable again. It's gotten totally out of control. The minute crooked Joe Biden shuffles out the door, I will rapidly rebuild the greatest economy in the history of the world. Look, we had the greatest economy in history. Everybody here, where you have a small business or if you had a job, you were getting more than you ever made. And we had no inflation. We had no 1.4%, considered none, considered better than none, because frankly, none in its own way is a bad thing also. We had a perfect number, 1.4%. It doesn't matter whether you're black or brown or white or whatever the hell color you are, it doesn't matter. We are all Americans, and we're going to pull together as Americans. We all want better opportunity. I'm not just going to promise it. I'm going to deliver it as I did just a short while ago. Think of it. You know, when I went down to Washington, I was only there 17 times. I never stayed over. I didn't know that society. And we had great people. Look at what we did with economic development, with the rebuilding of our military, with the tax cuts, with the... we had great people. But we also had some people that I wouldn't have used if I had my choice. Now I know everybody. I know the smart ones. I know the dumb ones. I know the killers. I know the weak ones. I know them all. And you're going to see. But everyone was better off. We had the greatest economy in history. Everybody was better off under a man named President Donald J. Trump. Have you ever heard of him? Have you heard of him? We had gasoline down to $1.87 a gallon, and actually times when it was much lower than that. We had a record low poverty rate for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We had the lowest, we had the best poverty rate in terms of the positive number ever in our history for black Americans and Hispanic Americans. We lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty. Nothing like that has ever happened in our country. And the real middle class income rose over $6,000 a year. Think of that. Under Biden, it's a disaster. Real middle class income has fallen over $2,000 a year. That's a lot. That's a difference of $8,000. Real earnings for African Americans are down 5.6%. African Americans are getting slaughtered. Hispanic Americans are getting slaughtered. And these millions and millions of people that are coming into our country, the biggest impact and the biggest negative impact is against our black population and our Hispanic population, who are losing their jobs, losing their housing, losing everything they can lose. They're the ones that are affected most by what's happening. Not only the fact that you've lost the use of your schools, your parks, and your hospitals. Joe Biden's inflation.
This man is on fire. Build that wall. Build that wall. He is on fire.
Do they have it? Speaking of the wall, so we built much more wall than we built 571 miles of wall. We had the safest border in history. We were going to put up within a period of 3 weeks. It was all built, laying there, ready to be put up, designed by the Border Patrol, who are incredible people, ICE, who are incredible people, all together. I wanted to put up concrete plank for the contractors here. They didn't want it. They had to have hardened steel. They wanted 6,000, 7,000 pound concrete. They wanted rebar in the middle. They wanted different materials, harder to cut. So we had very hard steel, very good stuff. Everything was good. We had the panel on top. It was called an anti-climb panel. We had the best wall. And it was going to be, we were going to add 200 miles of wall. It would have taken about 3 weeks. And then we had the rigged election. And you know what happened after the rigged election? They took the wall, and instead of putting it up, they sold it for 5 cents on the dollar. And I said, these people really do want to have an open border. And that's what's happened to our country. Our country has gone to hell because of it. It's gone to hell. But I want to thank Mexico. I want to thank, because I went to Mexico. We really have no choice. He said, send them back. There's a chance, send them back. Nobody wants to send anybody back, but you have no choice. This is not sustainable by any country, right?
Exactly.
This is not sustainable. But we had Mexico, and we went to Mexico, and I said to the president of Mexico, good man, by the way, a very good guy, happens to be a socialist, but these are minor details. I said to him, Mr. President, we need you to give us 28,000 soldiers to guard the wall. He said, well, how much would you pay for that? I said, nothing. I'm not paying anything. You're sending them in. They're coming in caravans. You have to do it. And he smiled and he laughed. He thought it was funny. He thought it was like, I was kidding. I said, no. They're coming in through Mexico. We need 28,000 soldiers, free of charge. And he said, Donald, I cannot do that. I said, here's what you do. I don't want to embarrass you, so I'm not going to negotiate with you. Send me a negotiator. Give me a top negotiator. I want to see him. And he came to the White House, a very handsome man, dressed in one of the most beautiful suits I've ever seen. In fact, I was going to ask him, who is your tailor? I'd like to buy one of those suits, but I didn't think it was appropriate to start the negotiation that way. And I said, you know that you're going to give us 28,000 soldiers, don't you? No, we are not going to. We will never do that. I said, of course you're going to. 100%. He said, we're not going to. He said, no way. I said, way. You're going to give it. He said, 100%. And you're also going to have a new policy. It's called Remain in Mexico. Nobody can come into our country until they're free. And then you're going to have catch and release into Mexico. You know, we have catch and release into our country. Even if they're criminals, we catch them, we check them, we see they're a criminal, we release them, we say, come back 5 years later, you'll have a court case. Nobody ever comes back. So I said to the State Department, and a wonderful woman, but a bad negotiator, I said to the State Department, give me a top 10 list. Give me a top 10 things. I said to ICE and Border Patrol, give me a top 10. They gave me a top 10 list. And a lot of it had to do with all of the horrible disease that pours through. People that have highly contagious diseases are coming into our country at levels that we've never seen before. So many other things. And they gave me a top 10 list, but they laughed. They said, sir, they'll never do. We've been trying to get this stuff for 25 years. I said, if I were a betting man, I would bet you any amount of money. You'll have it very quickly. So this man comes in. I said, we want a policy, remain in Mexico, Tijuana. Hundreds of probably the fastest growing city in the world for a period of a year. That place was loaded up with people. They weren't allowed into our country. And we had already built a lot of the wall, a tremendous amount, 571 miles. Without that, we couldn't have ever done this. And he said that we're not going to do it, sir. I said, you are going to do it. He said, we're not. I said, here's the story. I'm not going to mess around with you. I have to go. I have a very important meeting, much more important than this. I said, here's the story. You're either going to do it. It's Friday evening. Or on Monday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, we are going to put a 25% tariff on everything that Mexico sends into our country. And then 1 month later, if you don't do it, we're going to put a 50%. Then we're going to go 75. And because I'm a nice person, we're going to stop at a 100% tariff. And and I had it literally written. I'm saying, should I sign it or not? Am I going to waste the ink or not? Because I'll sign it right now. On Monday morning at 7 o'clock, you're going to pay up to a $100 tariff. He said, sir, I'd like to make a phone call. I said, I wonder who you're going to call. Let me guess. You're going to call the president. He comes back 3 minutes later. Sir, it would be our great honor to give you 28,000 soldiers free of charge. It would be our great honor to have a policy of remain in Mexico. Anyway, we got all 10 things. It took about like 10 minutes. It was not... And now the other day, did you see? Mexico said to crooked Joe Biden, we want $20 billion a year just for the privilege of negotiating with you. We want you to pay us. Did you see that? It was a little article. You hardly... There's a slight difference, would you say? He would have never asked that. He would have never asked it. So he said they want $20 billion. 20 billion, not 20 million's a lot. They want 20 with a B, $20 billion a year, just for the privilege of negotiating with Mexico. And you would never get the things that they gave up, remain in Mexico. They gave up catch and release in Mexico. They gave up they gave up everything. They gave up everything. They did. They did give up the Constitution. Joe Biden, his inflation has cost the average New York household a staggering $24,000. Think of that. Because the costs have gone up so much. Bacon has gone... I don't eat bacon anymore. It's too expensive. It's true. It's gone up like 4 times. I said, what's with bacon? But if you look at the Biden price hikes, very much caused the runaway inflation, the likes of which I don't think we've ever seen before, anything like it. and they're costing average New York families $1,000 a month just in the inflationary costs. I call it the Biden inflation tax because it's a tax. On day one, we're going to throw out Bidenomics and going to replace it with MAGAnomics, like your hats, MAGAnomics. And I will give you lower taxes. We're going to cut it still lower. Remember, when I cut taxes, I gave you the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, bigger than the Reagan tax cuts. And you know what? The following year, we reported massive increases in revenue. So with lower taxes, we actually took in more money because it gave incentive for people to work. Lots of reasons. But I will give you low taxes, low inflation, low interest rates, rising wages, growing incomes, and fair trade for the American worker. And we will make energy affordable again by saying, drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. Your energy costs will come down within the first year by 50%. That's not bad. That's a hell of a promise. And it will, too. We can drop that so quickly. Remember, it was his stupid energy policies that caused the inflation. Now, it's more than energy. Now everything's like on fire. The whole place is a mess. We will quickly return our nation to the path of prosperity, and we will bring our country back together through unparalleled success. Our country is going to be very successful, and people are going to come together. And I will tell you, a lot of people say, do you think you can ever get the sides together? And by the way, I have to say something. Our side is much bigger than their side. You see that? Much bigger. We're more quiet, much more quiet. But when we get going, we're much tougher, right? We're much tougher. But it is much bigger. But I saw it. We had the greatest economy in history, and I was getting calls from the other side. I call it the radical left. But left-leaning, to put it mildly, Democrats, can we get together? Because everybody had the best they've ever had. African-American jobs were the best in history. Asian American, the best in history. Hispanic, the best in history. Women, people with a diploma, people without a diploma, people that went to the great Wharton School of Finance, MIT, Harvard, they were doing better. And the people that didn't have a high school diploma were having the best. Everybody was better. There wasn't one group, not one, that went down. And it was bringing our country together. So it can happen. And when they ask, because I get that question a lot, do you think the sides can ever get together? And I went through the experience, and we can get together. And then we had COVID come in, and we had to fight that battle. And we did a great, I've been recognized as having created a great economy and great military, defeating ISIS and all the things. We rebuilt the entire military, created Space Force, all those things. We never got the credit, and we had no wars. Thank you, sir. That's very nice. Remember Hillary Clinton used to point at me, he will create wars. No. They said his personality will create wars. I said, no, my personality is going to keep us out of wars. And I was right. First president in 78 years that didn't start a war. We had no wars. None of these stupid wars. Such a shame. When you see all the people that died in these horrible wars in the Middle East and everything else, countries didn't want us, dropping bombs all over the place. Spent $9 trillion in the Middle East. We bomb the hell out of the place, then we leave. In the old days, to the victor belong the spoils. We don't do that. We bomb the hell out of everyone, then we come back home. It's so sick. It's so sick and so stupid. These people that led us are so stupid. You want to use that as a last resort. You can solve these problems with a meeting or with a telephone call. You don't have to drop billions of dollars worth of bombs on people's heads. You don't have to. It's called peace through strength. It really is. And there's no reason for it. What they did in the Middle East is so incredible. They bombed the hell out of the place, and then they left. But to the victor belong the spoils. We didn't do that. Now, in Iraq, years ago, I was a civilian, but I got a lot of publicity for whatever the hell reason. And I said, don't go into Iraq. Don't go into Iraq. Don't go into Iraq. But if you're going to go in, keep the oil. Well, they went in, and they didn't keep the oil. And Iraq now has $350 billion in cash from the oil. And Iran, by us destroying Iraq, the military of Iraq, You know, for years they fought each other, and they were equal sizes, equal everything. They were equal military partners. And for 1,000 years under different names, they would fight, a religious thing. They'd fight. They'd go 5 feet left, 5 feet right, 5 feet left, 5 feet right. Somebody would say they have gas. Somebody would say they have nuclear. Then they'd rest for a few years, and they'd fight again. But we blew the hell out of one side, Iraq. So now Iraq is a subsidiary, essentially, of Iran. Congratulations for the geniuses that got us into that mess. Because Iran essentially controls, and that was the other thing. When I was president, Iran was broke. They had no money. I said to China, if you buy, they bought a lot of oil. I said, if you buy anything, but if you buy oil from Iran, we are going to do something to you. What's that? You're not going to do any business in the United States. He said, well, that's the end of buying oil from Iran. Every country was told that. Iran was broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for anything. Then Biden comes in and he takes all of the sanctions off. And they go out, and now Iran has $223 billion. Congratulations. And we're the only ones for 5 hostages. We just paid $6 billion. And for electricity for Iraq, we just paid $10 billion. And think of it, Iraq has billions of dollars that we're paying for their electricity. So we were in a position, there was no terror, there was no threat, there was no nothing. And now Iran has become a big threat again. And I tell you, I see a lot of flags from right out of Israel, right? That's right out of Israel. But remember, I said it a month ago, and it's a terrible thing to say, but I believe it. Many of the hostages that you're waiting for, and everybody's waiting for, those hostages, many of them are dead. Many of them are dead. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing, but many of those hostages are dead. And that's why when you see these negotiations where Hamas is like not getting back, they're saying, man, we could make a good deal, but these people are no longer alive. When I saw the way they were treated, when I saw the way they were thrown into the cars and how horribly they were treated, there's no way that those hostages, and some will be alive, but many of those hostages are dead. It's a very serious, horrible thing. It would have never happened if the election weren't rigged. It would have never happened if I were your president. They would have never done it. Because we have so many young people here today, I want to talk about, just for a moment, about success. Do you remember I used to give talks on success before politics? Okay, that's enough. We're going to do it. I know you're on our side, but it's enough. We're going to get them home. It's a rough situation. But remember, we used to give talks on success for the learning annex and for others. And I used to do that before politics, and maybe it's one of the reasons I went in. But because, well, bringing our city back, it starts with getting the right leadership. It also involves men and women just like you. But I talk a lot about success, and I get paid money to talk about success. I would have done it for nothing. But then because of politics, and if you take a look, because of politics, I stopped doing that. But I think we're in the Bronx. We have young people, people that aspire to success. And I just wanted to know, I'm so tired of politics. Can we devote 6 minutes to success? Okay. So, for all of you young people, I think it's, look, I've been through tremendous, I've had great success. I've had it in entertainment, I've had it in business, I've had it in politics. I ran for office. What office did you run for, president? How'd you do? I won. Actually, I won twice. We did much better the second time, so. We got millions more votes the second time. But it doesn't compare to this time. There is so much more. We had tremendous enthusiasm when we, I don't call her Crooked Hillary anymore. I call her Beautiful Hillary because I took crooked and used it for Joe. I don't like using it for two people. But we had tremendous enthusiasm in 2016. We had unbelievable more enthusiasm in 2020 because we did such a good job. In fact, one of the big problems in 2016 was the wall. It was the border. I fixed it so good that I couldn't talk about it in 2020. I kept saying to my people, I want to talk about the wall. I want to talk about the great job I did on immigration. I stopped people from coming in. They said, sir, nobody cares. You already fixed it. I said, this is a terrible thing. You fix it and you can't talk about it. But let's talk about, for the young people, just to listen for a couple of minutes, because we've been talking about politics so long, I'm OD'd. You know what that means? I'm OD'd on politics. I'm OD'd on Trump. I turn on the television, Trump, 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 all different stories, Trump. They're driving us crazy. So I believe in the expression. Did you ever hear this expression? The harder you work, the luckier you get. You know who said that? A great golfer named Gary Player. He was smaller than other golfers, but he worked harder than other golfers. And he ended up with the most career wins of any golfer. He ended up with 9 majors. And, you know, he was small in stature, but big right up here. But he made that say, it was the first time I ever heard about it. He said, it's a funny thing happens. The harder I work, the luckier I get. That was an athlete saying that. Amazing, right? It's the first time I heard it. Probably been said by others, but it's true. I can tell you, if you didn't work really hard, there is very little chance that I would be standing here right now. Another part of success is something I learned from my father. I had a wonderful father, wonderful parents. I'm lucky. You got to be lucky. Got to get great parents. If you're going to spend your life working really hard, you have to love it. You have to pick something that you really enjoy. Sometimes your parents will say, don't do that. But you got a little bit, in that case, you got to follow your own way. You got to love it. Ideally, you're going to love something where there's a potential, because there are some things you love, but it's not going to do you so good. So ideally, fall in love with something that's good. Some people go into a business where it's a very hard business. If you can go into a business that's an easier business and do well. But I see it all the time. Somebody has every ingredient for success, smart, brilliant, everything's good. But they're in a business where you hit your head on the wall. It's a very tough business. Try finding something where it's a great business with a great future, and there are plenty of them out there. My father taught me about construction, but what I really learned from him was that he worked 7 days a week because he really loved to do it. I mean, he would work on Sunday, he'd go to church in the morning, and then he'd go and work. And I know some people that don't believe in working on Sunday. You couldn't keep him away from work. But he loved working, and he was happy. He was married for a long time. That's one thing I'm not going to top him on. He was married. He was married for a long time, decades and decades. He said, Pop, I'm not going to beat you on that one. Never going to beat you. But because his work made him happy, but he was happy when he worked, and he was successful, and he knew what he was doing. He'd build a house on one side of the street. Somebody else would build a house on the other side of the street. And he'd build his house faster, better, cheaper, and he'd sell it for less money. The other guy would build the house for more money, take him longer, couldn't sell it. My father would go buy the house for less money than it cost him to build the first one, and he'd sell it. And, you know, in the old days, a long time ago, his brother was a professor at MIT. My father worked. He was a little younger than my father. My father put him to school. He went to MIT, a very brilliant guy, Professor John Trump, the longest-serving professor in the history of MIT, 41 years, I believe, Dr. John Trump. My father used to tell me I used to go crazy. Your uncle was always getting degrees. I had to keep building for your uncle to get him through college. He was always up there getting degrees. But he was at MIT for 41 years, a brilliant guy. He used to talk to me about nuclear because he was a nuclear genius, along with a genius at about everything else. And he used to say that someday there'll be a time when a small package carried by hand can blow up an entire city. And I said, no way, Uncle John, that's never going to happen, Uncle John. Guess what? He was right a long time ago that he said it. But my father would price a house. And I'd say, how did you price in those days, Dad? He said, pricing was everything. He said, I'd sell a house for $3,999.99. And that 1 penny made the difference between selling it and not. 1 penny. If I made it $4,000, I wouldn't sell. But psychologically, $3,999.99. And he sold houses. And guys wouldn't sell them. But he used to tell me that 1 penny, sounds crazy, but it wasn't crazy. Psychologically, people thought they were buying it for $3,000, not $4,000. It's sort of like getting an 89 on a test in school, or a 90. A 90's an A, and an 89 1 point is a B+. Another lesson: when times are tough, sometimes that's when you perform the best. You have to learn that about yourself. You have to learn it about yourself. Are you okay? Are you guys okay? Oh, okay, take your time, yeah? Take your time. Doctor, any doctor, please? Doctor in the house. Thank you. Are you okay? You take your time, darling. Yeah.
Look at this guy. Amazing.
Yeah. Take your time. Take your time, Doc. We have time. Some people waited here for 2 days. It's tough. It's tough. Thank you. Plenty of time. That's good.
Yeah, Trump looks like he's...
Water.
Yeah, Trump looks like he's concerned for real.
She all right? She okay?
What a rock star this guy is. Man of the people, right there.
She doing all right? She doing okay? Thank you. Plenty of time. Okay? You okay? Thank you. Doctor, thank you very much, doctors. Got a lot of doctors in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you, darling. That's great. That's great. Great job. People do a fantastic job here. But it's hot, and it's been a long wait, right? Long wait. Thank you very much, Doctor. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know she's going to be okay because she's so tough. Some of the greatest days of my business career were in the toughest times, but I enjoyed waking up every single morning and go to battle. A lot of people say to me today, the toughest business people, people that you know about, could I ask you a question? How do you do it? I say, do what? How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Why do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. They're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time. Impeachment hoax #1, impeachment hoax #2, lawsuits all up. And they're doing it to injure the political opponent of an incompetent candidate because he can't run fairly and squarely. And I say, you know what I do? I just do it. I put on the blinders. I say, I just do it. We do it. And the other question they ask me is, will it happen again? And we have to make it too big to rig. We got a lot of great people watching. We have to make it too big to rig. But one of the things you need in success is momentum. You need momentum. You got to have, and when you have that momentum going, there's nothing that can stop you. And I tell the story of Bill Levitt. Bill Levitt was a great real estate man, great. Levitt towns all over the country. One of the most successful real estate people at a certain age ever. And he built these massive towns that were, you know, there was nothing like him at the time. And very successful. And he was offered a lot of money to sell to a big public company. and he decided to take it. He was a young man. He was in his 40s, and he said, darling, I'm going to take it. Told his wife, I want to take the money. And for 20 years, he went out, he bought a yacht. He lived a beautiful life. He lived in the south of France. But he got bored. And 21, 22 years later, he said, I want to make a comeback. I can't stand this life anymore. I want to make a comeback. And he went to the company that he sold to, a big public company that did very poorly. They had no idea what they were doing. You know, he used to, by the way, he used to pick up every nail, every piece of wood, he used to sell the sawdust, everything. He would say every penny was a major event. And now you had this big public company. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. So he went back and he made him an offer. They didn't want to sell, and he paid a little more. And he ended up buying it for an okay price. And he was so happy. He said, now I can go back to work. And he went back, and everything he touched turned bad. The market turned on him. The jobs turned on him. He was no longer able to get zoning. He was spending a fortune. He had just purchased it for a lot of money. And he ended up going bankrupt. He was bankrupt. And I was young when I met him. And I was at the party of a very big person, big public company person. And Bill Levitt was there. And I was in the real estate business, so I knew who he was. And you probably indirectly know who. And everybody was shunning him a little bit. Nobody cared about him anymore. But I did, and I went over to him, and I say, hi, Mr. Levitt, I'm Donald Trump. I know it. I was doing great. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now, and I became president, okay? I don't know. I said to somebody, was I hotter before or hotter now? I don't know. Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares, right? But he knew who I was, and I went up, I said, so, are you okay? And he said, I'm not really okay. I made a mistake that I'll never forget. And he was, by this time, a pretty old guy. And he was sitting in the corner of this magnificent Fifth Avenue apartment where there were 25 very successful people. But I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to find out what happened because he lost everything. Everybody knew it. It's very public. And I said, what happened exactly? What happened? He said, son, I lost my momentum. I had something going that couldn't be stopped. And I should have just stayed. I lost my momentum. And I've never forgotten the term. If you lose your momentum, you got to figure it out. But Bill Levitt lost his momentum, and he died penniless. And he was the biggest real estate person on the planet. And I've never forgotten that story. It was a sad story. He was a good man, too. I thought he was a good man, but did an unbelievable job. Today, you have Levittowns all over the country, and pretty amazing. But you have to always keep moving forward. And when it's your time, you have to know it's your time. And I said to myself, in terms of politics, I said, you know what? We did so well in number one. We did even better in number two. I said, we got to do it again because you have to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. And I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it to make America great again. You know, if I didn't think we won, easily won, I would never do this. Because you know what? In many ways, it's easier. You have a winner, you have a loser. It's okay. I won once. It was a big upset, I guess. I don't know why it was an upset. Because I'd go and I'd have 50,000 people at a rally. She'd go and have 200 people. And then they say, why did I win Michigan? Why did I win Pennsylvania? Why did I win all these states that a Republican hadn't won in many years? Why? And by the way, we're up in Pennsylvania. We're up in Michigan. We're up in New Hampshire today. We're up in Florida at numbers that you wouldn't even believe. But I also think it's very important to know what you want. You have to set your sights high. Set your sights so high, higher than you ever thought possible, and make your goals big and go after it. That's why I say we won't just make New York a little better. I say we want to make New York a lot better, better than it ever was before. Right? And finally, you have to take pride in your accomplishments. Do not take for granted what you've achieved. Forget it. It's over. It's good for your confidence, but it's over. Go forward. Think to the future, not to the past, but learn from the past. You know, wherever I go, I know that if I could build a skyscraper in Manhattan, I could do anything. It's very tough. Building a 68-story building on Fifth Avenue is hard. With all you have to deal with, I mean, you have unions, you have legal entanglements, property rights, zoning, You're dealing with the smartest and toughest contractors in the world. These are killers. Many of you are here today. Thank you very much. But by comparison, talking to world leaders, I believe, is easier. And I've done them both. Talking to a world leader, if you're smart, you know, you have the United States behind you. Now, the country's not the same, but it'll be better and stronger and bigger in a very short period of time. You know, we have so many different things we could discuss having to do with the Republican Party. But the biggest thing, I think, and I really mean this, and it's happening more and more, and I see it all the time, because really you have to be the party of common sense as opposed to the Democrat Party. It's a party of failure, extremism, and gross incompetence, and that's what it is. And they're going to destroy our country. But our country has faced down much harder challenges before and come back stronger than ever. That's why I so firmly believe that we can quickly make America a great and glorious nation again. When I take office, we are going to restore public safety and the rule of law in New York City. That starts with stopping the pouring into our country of millions and millions of illegal immigrants, which are causing a new category of violence called migrant crime. We have a migrant crime happening now. You add that to the crime already. A terrible statistic. Venezuela was a very crime-ridden country. They just announced a month ago 67, but now they just announced 72% reduction in crime in Venezuela. In Caracas, they took their gang members, they took their drug dealers, they are emptying out their prisons, they're taking everybody that's a problem and they're dumping them into the United States of America. We're like a dumping ground. But many countries are doing that. I would say eventually all countries would be doing that. If I headed up Honduras, if I headed up any one of the countries that are neighboring or not neighboring, and we're not talking about just South America countries, we're talking about countries from Africa. The other day, 22, think of it, 22 people from the Congo. Where do you live? We came from jail. What did you do in jail? We don't want to tell you. They're now living happily. They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from all over the world. They come from the Middle East. Yemen. We're bombing Yemen. Here we go with the bombs again. We're bombing Yemen. And people are coming in from Yemen. Large numbers of people are coming in from China. And if you look at these people, did you see them? They are physically fit. They're 19 to 25. Almost everyone is a male. And they look like fighting age. I think they're building an army. They had 29,000 people over the last... I think they're building... They want to get us from within. I think they're building an army. This is not... You know, it's interesting. Did you see them? They all have tents. They all have gas-fired stoves. I mean, this is not like an illegal immigrant. This is... They're building something. They have something in mind. We're going to end all of that stuff. They respected your president. They respected our country. And we're not going to let people, we are not going to let these people come in and take our city away from us and take our country away from us. It's not going to happen. Now, who would let people, seriously, who would let people come from prisons and jails, from mental institutions? They cannot stay. We will immediately begin the largest criminal deportation operation in our country's history because this situation is sustainable by no country. No country can sustain this. As we speak, there are hundreds of thousands of Biden migrants invading our city and our country. We no longer have border states like Texas and Arizona. All states, including New York, are your border state. The people are pouring through Texas. They're pouring through Arizona. They're pouring through every state. Every state is now a border state. Every state is now, we're talking about, in my opinion, 16 to 17 million people. And these are not necessarily people that are going to help us as a country. We want to be nice. We want to be respectful. They're coming from so many places we don't have any idea. In many cases, We don't even know what the language. You know, you have languages that people don't even know about. We have languages where there's nobody in our country that speaks these languages. They're coming from places we have no idea what's happening with our country. The flood of migrants is putting crippling burdens on our communities, your schools, hospitals, parks, and public resources. Frankly, we're lucky to get this big park. I don't know how the hell we did it. It must be New York's finest. I don't know how we did it. They call it the Biden migrant invasion, and it's wrong. It's immoral. And the vast majority of New Yorkers agree with me that this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We must stop it. We must stop it immediately. And you know, for the people coming up, it's also unacceptable. They come up in what's called caravans. The women are treated horribly. They're being raped at levels that nobody's ever seen before. Nobody wants to talk about it. The fake news will report that, oh, it's so terrible what he said. But it's fact. It's fact. The people are being treated. They're coming up in 100 degrees, and then it's freezing. They're coming through snake-infested areas. It's a hell of a journey, and so many people are dying coming up. If we told them, please do not come up, you're not going to come in, like I was telling them for a long period of time, they wouldn't come. They're being offered, look at California Governor Newsom. Governor Newsom. He offers education. He offers medical care. He offers pensions. He offers everything. He'll even give them an electric car because they're all over the place. How about the electric mandate? You like the all-electric mandate? Not too much, huh? Does anybody like a car that doesn't go very far? Cost a lot. In Brooklyn, American students at James Madison High School were recently told they had to stay at home from school so their classrooms could be turned into housing for thousands of migrants. Very simply, Joe Biden puts illegal aliens first. I put America first. I put America first.
Here it comes.
Would anybody...
Here it comes.
Now, this is up to you. Has anybody heard the snake? Would anybody like to hear the snake? Because we can stay here all night. I don't care. Would you like to hear the snake? So it's a metaphor. It's an old song, and it was redone. It didn't have anything to do with snakes or people or illegal immigration, but this has to do with illegal immigration. And I think it's very accurate, actually, and it's very sad. But I'll go and we'll do it, and some of you have heard it, and many of you haven't. But we're going to do it right now for the great people of the Bronx and elsewhere.
This dude's charisma is off the charts.
We love the Bronx. Are you ready? On her work, and you know what? You know what this is all about, right? Did you know? You've heard this before? Have you heard it? We got the greatest people here. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, he said, I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, ma'am, the snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in. Right? So when we allow people from prisons, when we allow people from insane asylums and mental institutions, which are being emptied out all over the world, you know, their prison populations are going way down. You know why? Because they're being dumped into the United States. When we are allowing terrorists at numbers that we've never seen before, remember the snake. Remember the snake. Because you're going to get bitten like you never got bitten before, and you need a new president, and you have to get rid of this person who is not a smart person, not a respected person, and doesn't have a clue what the hell is happening. So, that's the snake. Did you enjoy the snake? On day one, I will seal the border, and I will stop the invasion of our country. Very sadly, in recent years, we have also seen our city destroyed by bad, radical left, pro-crime policy that virtually everyone, Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone, you all know it's a disaster. You know the names of these lunatic policies. No cash bail. Somebody kills somebody. Go out. No bail. Don't worry. Go out and kill a couple of more people. Defund our great police. Defund the police. Sanctuary cities. Release violent repeat offenders from jail. Joe Biden supports all of this insanity and much more, but millions of people across New York know it's crazy. There is no way when you watch this guy get off an airplane, he doesn't even have to talk. When he falls out of a helicopter, he's got 3 little stairs. It's not that hard. You got 2 railings. You don't fall out of helicopters. You don't fall upstairs. He falls up. He has more trouble going up than he does coming down. That's a little sick. But you're just not going to vote for him. You just not. We got to win. If we just win the state, it just puts it right. It's such a big state. It puts it to bed. You're going to have a president and people, but you're going to have a president that understands what we have to do. We have to be nice about it, but we have to do things. And we're going to be done. And the world is going to respect us again. We were never so respected as we were 4 years ago. President Xi of China, Putin, you know, Viktor Orban, did you ever hear of him? Prime Minister of Hungary, very tough guy, known as a strong man. Oh, they hate it when I talk about him because they say he's a strong man. Trump loves strong men. I don't know. I like weak men, actually. I like weak men. I'd much rather have a weak man than a strong man. But he is a strong man. And they asked him, why is it that the whole world is blowing up? He said, one simple reason, Trump is not president in the United States. He said, you put Trump back as president and the whole world is going to get better, because they were afraid of Trump. They couldn't figure Trump out. Trump was a rather difficult person. But he used the word afraid. I don't use it. I don't use afraid. I use the word respect. They respected your president. They respected the United States of America. And they're going to do it again, and it's going to happen fast. But we have to get this absolute disaster. The worst president in history. He makes Jimmy Carter look like he had a brilliant administration. The only thing, the only happy person about Joe Biden is Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy looks brilliant by comparison. I also want to thank New York's finest. I grew up with them. I know them. I love them. I love our firemen. I love our teachers. These are incredible people, and we have to bring the word respect and honor back to them, right where it belongs. A few weeks ago, I visited with a grieving family, New York police officer Jonathan Diller. What a beautiful family. He was a beautiful person. He was 31 years old, gunned down during a traffic stop by a vicious thug. And just horrible, leaving his beautiful young wife behind, a son, Ryan, behind, 1-year-old son. And it was the saddest day. It was a horrible thing. Opened the door and just started shooting him. The criminal charge was savagely murdering Officer Dillon, was previously arrested by the NYPD 21 times. And he was allowed to go out because of the political things they do here. I'm the only one they want to keep. If I ever said, I want no bail, they'd say, you got to pay a fortune. If I ever say, oh, no cash bail, that sounds good, that sounds good. No, it doesn't apply to Trump. I'm the only one it doesn't apply to, probably. And the accomplice driving the car had been arrested 14 times and was actually a far more violent person. And his nickname was Killer. They called him Killer. These dangerous and violent repeat offenders should never have been on our streets. Jonathan should be alive today, but they were released again and again and again. I will not sit by and accept this reckless insanity when I am in the White House. I will stand up to the Marxist DAs and Soros prosecutors, and we will tell them no more. We're not going to stand for it. We will not let them destroy our communities. We will not let them destroy our country. There's a 53% increase in felony assaults on your subways. 53%. That's in a short period of time. Since 2019, murders are up more than 20%. Shootings are up more than 30%. I'm going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong actions on crime. And remember, Black, Hispanic, Asian people need this protection and safety more than anyone else. Don't ever forget it. And after years of talk by the radical left Democrats, we are going to give them the protection they need, and we're going to protect our police. We're going to make sure they do a great job. They can do it very quickly. They know who the bad guys are. They know everything about them. They know their name. They know their middle initial. We're going to insist that if a violent criminal murders a police officer, they receive the death penalty. It's going to be quick. And I also want to work with your mayor and your governor, happen to be Democrats, to clean up the homeless encampments so that you can once again enjoy your parks and your public spaces. Right now, you don't have public spaces. They're occupied by migrants in tents. Pleasures as simple as a walk in the park or watching your children again play in a Little League game will come roaring back, and they're going to come back very quickly. Your lifestyle and the American dream will be with you once again, and we're going to bring it back, the American dream. You don't have an American dream right now. You will be proud, and your children and your country will be even prouder of you. Years ago, people with severe mental illness were in mental institutions, and then a certain governor, I won't mention the name because at this point, what difference? They dumped all of them into the streets because they said those institutions were too expensive to run. So now they live on our streets, and that's what we have. This is no good for anybody. It's bad for the people who need help, and it's bad for the people of our city, and it's a horrible, horrible way to live. I want to work in partnership with your local leaders, Democrats, pretty much all, and move the severely mentally ill off your streets and back into a place where they can get help and the help that they desperately need. I want to recognize, by the way, a few very special people. You have some really great people here, and I'm sorry I can't mention all. We have congressmen all over the place, but I just can't mention you today. You're never going to speak to me, but would anybody like to hear these congressmen's names? But I do have to mention a few people. We're truly honored to be joined by a man who is a Democrat and a former member of the New York City Council, and he's been a friend of mine, and he helped me very much.
I know a lot of people in the chat are talking about it, and yes, Nick Rekieta has been arrested. I will talk about it after Trump's speech, but a lot of people are asking if it's legit. Yes, Nick Rekieta and his wife have been arrested. It's all over Twitter.
Good. Please. Thank you. Mr. President, I am a Puerto Rican, a black Puerto Rican. I used to be a state senator for 15 years. And I used to be city council member. Today I'm here for various reasons. But I want to tell you first that as a Puerto Rican, as a Hispanic, I want to apologize to you for the conduct of George Juan Merchant. As a Hispanic, I want to apologize.
Thank you. Hell yeah.
He's been used. He has been used to destroy you. But we know better than that. We know better than that. As a minister, president of the New York Hispanic Clergy Organization, I want to tell AOC
Uh-oh.
This morning, she intended to become a prophet. And she said, even God doesn't want Trump in the Bronx because it's going to rain. Madame Prophet AOC, you have become a false prophet.
Look at Trump. Look at Trump.
Look at what a beautiful day. That means that not only you guys want Trump in the Bronx, because if we're going to measure that for the weather, then I would say humbly that even God wants you in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And I want to close by saying, Mr. President, I want to join you in having the Bronx great again. Please accept this Democrat, this black Puerto Rican with a kinky hair and a broken English. Please accept my endorsement for you as a president. Thank you very much.
How do you not have chills? How do you not have chills? That was awesome.
Thank you very much. How nice was that? I didn't expect that. Really? That was beautiful. You know, it's always dangerous to do that. You never know what's going to come out. Maybe he'll change his mind coming up, but he doesn't change his mind. That man is a winner. He's a winner and a great man. Thank you very much, Ruben. Also with us is New York native and current U.S. Congressman. He's hot as a pistol. Oh, boy, he has a future. And he's a great friend of mine, Byron Donalds. Come up, please.
Yeah. I see you in the chat, Willie Will.
Give him hell.
Oh, wow. Mr. President, there's more of them here now than when I was up about an hour and a half ago. If there's one thing we know, is that this man was one of the best presidents this country has ever had.
The best.
And if there's another thing that we know, is that all of you are going to make him the 47th president of the United States.
Thank you, Byron. Great. What a good future. Here as well as rapper Chef G. Does everybody know Chef? Where is Chef G? Where is he? Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hollow. Come on up here, fellas. How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump. One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
Thank you, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
This is
Thank
so
you very much.
fucking awesome.
That's where I like those teeth. I want to find out where you did. I got to get my teeth like that. I want that to happen to me. As somebody with a fantastic future in the Republican Party and beyond, Gavin Wax, thank you. Young Republicans, Gavin, wherever you are. Thank you, Gavin. Adam Solis of New York, Young Republicans, who's been fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job you're doing. Madeline Brame of Blexit. Thank you, Madeline. Thank you very much. Somebody that's a real star in politics and done an incredible job and so popular in Nassau County. The county executive, Nassau County, Bruce Blakeman. Come up, Bruce, for a second. Come up, Bruce. Where is Bruce? We got to get Bruce. Where is he? That's a long way to come up to hell with Bruce, right? Come on up, Bruce. Come on.
This dude's
This
charisma
guy
is
is
off
central casting.
the charts.
If I'm doing a movie on a politician, this is the guy I have playing. Come on. That's great.
Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. Both my parents were World War II veterans. Not many people can say about that. They would be shocked and appalled by what's going on in this foreign invasion from our southern border. Nassau County is not a sanctuary county, and when Donald Trump gets reelected, this will not be a sanctuary country. God bless America.
Good man. Good man. Thank you very much, guys. National Committeeman and Chairman Joe Cairo. Joe, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. And Andrew, thank you very much for being our star of the future. I heard you made a good speech. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody. We have so many people out there, but we're going to finish this up. This has been, I didn't know. I woke up, I said, I wonder, will it be hostile or will it be friendly? It was beyond friendly. It was a love fest. From the very first day that we take back the White House, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. We're going to restore peace through strength. We're going to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of our country. We're going to protect our great seniors, and I will never let anyone touch your Medicare or your Social Security. Under the Democrat program, they will be gone. We are going to restore free speech in America. We are going to fight for your right to school choice, something you all want. And I will not allow schools to impose COVID vaccine mandates or mask mandates. We are going to get far-left Marxist lunacy out of our children's classrooms. We're going to keep men out of women's sports. And we will, once and for all, secure our elections. But all of this, saving New York and saving America, starts with telling crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in history, you're fired, like the apprentice. You're fired. Get out. You were terrible. You're destroying our country, Joe. Get out.
Yes.
If you want to help, you must vote. I believe that we can win New York State. We have levels of support that nobody's seen before. I mean, look at this. So register, volunteer, turn out everyone you know. Don't assume it doesn't matter just because you live in a blue city. You live in a blue city, but it's going red very, very quickly. We must work together as a team to win. New York has always been the home of proud patriots like you. You are proud patriots. You love this. You love this city, you love this state, and you love our country. New York was the city loved by Teddy Roosevelt, Norman Rockwell, the great Flo Ziegfeld, General Douglas MacArthur, George Gershwin, Frank Sinatra, and in baseball alone, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Jackie Robinson, and many, many others. It's the city where workers and skilled craftsmen strode across steel beams 80 stories high to build the great Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building and all of the others. It's the city that lit up the shining lights of Broadway, that turned Times Square from a seedy, dirty, long-forgotten area into one of the greatest crossroads of light and glamour anywhere in the world. It's the city that produced generations of everyday American heroes who willingly spilled their blood and gave everything they had to make America into the greatest nation in the history of the world. Above all, this is the place that every one of us here today has been proud to call our home, our town, our city. And we are the ones who are going to make our city great again. It was hard-working patriots like you who built this city, and it is hard-working patriots, and this is something you can say it, and you can say it a million times, and you can emblazon it. It's hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. You are going to save our country. We're going to get out and vote like never before. We're going to make it too big to rig. Our vote is going to be too big to rig. So one thing they can't guard against, working together, there is nothing we cannot do and no height we cannot achieve. Together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America great again. Thank you, Bronx. Thank you, New York. We love you. Thank you. God bless everybody. God bless you. God bless you.
Let's go. Holy crap. He brought the house down again. Just when you think this guy can't do it any better, he does it again. Another banger of a appearance, rally, speech, everything. Chills, man. This is America. This is what we want out of America. We want this type of energy from America. Absolutely fantastic. Love this dude, man. What a freaking legend. So there we go. He's throwing out MAGA hats. Great rally. And yes, I am going to discuss what a lot of people like. So during this stream is when the announcement happened of Nick Rekieta. I'll talk about it here in a minute. Piano Dean just became a Cobra legend, by the way. Look at that, Piano Dean. And thank you all for the super chats. I'll get all the super chats and everything. We're here. We're not going anywhere. But this dude's charisma, Trump has a once-in-a-generation charisma. There's nobody like this guy. There's nobody. There's nobody that can do what he does. He commands the crowd. He commands the audience. He commands the room. It truly is fantastic to see. Shout out to Dom H for those 5 gifted memberships. Thank you, Dom H. And yeah, I mean, the people he brought up on stage, the comment about the teeth, I mean, is only Trump can do that. Only Trump can do that. It's truly phenomenal. So yeah, amazing. Amazing indeed. And I'm so happy that he did this. They put him in this position. They put him in this position. He's dancing. I'm trying to talk over the music so I don't get hit for copyright. I don't want to get hit for copyright, so that's why. What a freaking legend. So he's already been, now he's been to Harlem and he's been to the Bronx and no telling where else he's going to go. But they did this. You've decided to put this man in New York and basically not let him go anywhere because you're keeping him bogged down.
Something that hasn't happened since Ronald Reagan in 1980. And I think right now, the fact that there are a lot of people still, trying to get into this place, 3 words for you. Madison Square Garden. MSG would be quite the rally. Obviously, that's been something that's been in the works, and we'll see when that is announced. But my, oh my, if that, what we just saw here in the Bronx is going to be anything of a sample of what it will be like at Madison Square Garden, right in the heart of Midtown Manhattan. Can you believe it? Wow. We want to thank our friends at the Birch Gold Group.
Absolutely insane, man. So Trump, do you know how mad they are? AOC got blasted and called out for her bullshit. I'll show you guys that really quickly. Let me see. Let's go to chat really quick. And let me pull it up and show you. So AOC, this is the comment that they were talking about with AOC today. If she didn't delete it yet. Okay, so AOC tweeted this out right here. God is good. When there was a report that it was going to be raining and a muddy mess tonight at the Trump rally, she tweeted out, God is good. So AOC, now I guess you have to acknowledge that God is good and God is great because God cleared the skies for President Trump. Based on your own logic, God cleared the skies for President Trump. So God is great. Thank you, AOC, for pointing that out. We appreciate that. She is absolute trash in every sense of the word. She is just absolutely horrible. So, yeah, unbelievable. But Trump just crushed it, man. Just crushed it. And you love to see it. It was fantastic to witness. And let's see. Whoops. We go to that. Okay. And let me pull up this. Let me read a couple super chats. I'll give everybody time to, kind of get rolling. Some people may not want to hear stuff about Rekieta. And I'm only just going to talk about what I was asked about it the other day when this stuff started going viral with him, and I declined to comment because I don't want to comment on someone that I know when they're going through some shit. So I was asked multiple times about the clips going around about Rekieta and what was going on with him. I declined to comment publicly because out of respect for him, I didn't comment on it. But now that this news is out there, obviously, I'll talk a little bit about what's out there right now. Black and White Sports with a 20 says, let's effing go Trump 2024. That is Rhodes himself. What's up, Rhodes? Veranid. I'm sorry, I was going to say Valkyria Winter. Veranid with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Aunt Ryu says, glad you're covering this, Jeremy. Also, you're a fig for 20. Thank you so much. Ryan Martin says, keep kicking ass, Jeremy. Trump all the way or we're screwed. And congrats to St. George on 4 years drug and crime free. So many jokes I'd like to make, but I'm not going to. Thoughts on fitness with Nigel says, Jeremy, we are super pumped over here in the UK. My wife loves you, man. Happy to hear that. Thank you for the support. Eli Saul says, Dominicans for Trump 199. D. Watts says, Cope and Seed AOC tried to get a crowd like this in the Bronx. She couldn't do it. Steel Valkyrie says, man, what I wouldn't give to be at a Trump rally. Going to a Trump rally is fantastic. It really is. It really is. Eric Guidewall with 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. James Opp says, I'm 100% disabled vet. Spent 8 years in the Army, and the patriotism hits me every time. Yes. Hey, man, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. Obviously, President Trump appreciates you. Unfortunately, the Democrats don't. Chris Coran says, Jeremy is getting all tingly when Trump speaks. Warren Smith says, I would vote for him if I was in the USA. Trump 2024, hell the 199, the GCA, and hell the best chat. 1,000%. Sateri says, the Smash Bros. Melee trailer in the background is just so iconic. Trump 2024. I'm glad you guys appreciate the different video games I put in the background. Harley Dave says, this may be the penultimate speech. It was right there. That was top tier. Anima Chains with the gifted membership. Thank you. Cyberhunk says, 2016, A New Hope. 2020, The Deep State Stripes Back. 2024, Return of the Trump Guy. Absolutely. Drunk 3PO says, I'm here to help. Look at Drunk 3PO. Trying to get it, trying to steal thunder. I would never try to derail Drunk 3PO's stream in the chat. I would never come into his chat and derail anything. That's not what you do to your friend. Out of respect, I would never try to derail his stream, and that's what he's trying to do to mine. It's really disappointing. Aunt Ryu says Trump, he OD though. The horror host says, thanks for being sober, Jeremy. It's getting crazy out there. Yeah, so again, I'll talk about it a little. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I never have. I never will. I can confidently say that. I will never do any of that. I will never drink alcohol. I never have. I will never try it. I will never smoke. I've never tried it. I never will. I've never done drugs. I've never tried it. I never will. Those are confident statements I can stand by for the rest of my time on this earth. It will never happen under any circumstance whatsoever. There's no force on this earth that could make me do any of that shit. And it obviously, there's no benefit to it. Paul Stella says, it's amazing the media tricked people into hating this man. That is true. And before we do kind of get into the other stuff, there's actually something I want to show you guys. This popped up the other day. I've got to look for it on my feed right here. Because I think I bookmarked this. But this really does put this into perspective right here. Is this it? Yeah, right here. Okay, so yeah, because Elon Musk tweeted this out. Okay, Elon Musk tweeted this out. This right here, if this doesn't put this into perspective for everybody, I don't know what will. Watch this right here, okay? The Elon Musk tweeted this and says, some people still believe the legacy media. Watch this, okay?
CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information?
The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration. In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops. CBS aired a story in March of 2020, supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually file tape from Italy. A week later, CBS News mistakenly used the Italy video again. In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister. But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. Newsweek reported Poland's first lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did.
Unbelievable. Like that's the media for you right there. Okay. So that's the media. And it's wild, absolutely wild that these, this pieces of garbage just, absolutely, it's mind blowing to me that people still believe this bullshit. And I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. How are people so gullible to just eat that stuff up? I have no idea. But here we go. And another nonsensical day of the media being absolute trash. Okay, let's talk about the stuff that we just found out today during this stream. If I can, all right. So this was posted by Josh over on Kiwi Farms, right here. Nick Rekieta and his wife are in jail for possession, and this is his, side piece apparently, from what I understand. Again, I'm only talking about this because it went massive and everybody's talking about it now. The other day, I was brought this up people were bringing up what happened with Nick on a stream, and I said I'm not going to talk about that because I know Nick, and there's no point in me trying to make content out of that. I'm not here to, take advantage of anything he's going through. I'm still not here to do that now, but it happened. It is what it is. Nick has been, obviously, for anybody that's been paying attention to Nick, he's obviously been going in the wrong direction for a long time now. And, all I'm going to say about it is I hope everything works out for him. I texted him a couple of days ago, letting him know that if he needs anything, I'm here. I'm not going to reveal. I didn't hear back from him, but I've had some conversations with Nick over the last, couple years, a few times. Nick's always been a good, dude, never done me wrong. I wouldn't say we're close friends, but we definitely know each other. I don't know his whole story. I know that for the last year, he's been going through a lot with a lot of drunk live streams. He's been losing a lot of weight. He's been looking really unhealthy. And all I can say is, when you surround, whoever I surround myself with people, they're going to keep me moving forward and keep me, in check if I ever need that. And I do the same to my friends and vice versa. When you surround yourself with people that are going to continue to drag you down, that's probably not a good situation to be in. And that's all I'm really going to say about it. But that's it. I'm not going to comment on it any further. There's people out there that are going to, talk about this. That's just not my game. It's not what I do. It's very sad. There's children involved. And I hope everything gets worked out, obviously. And in private, if I hear from him or whatever, I will talk to him if that's what he's looking for. I'm sure he has other people that he's closer to that he can have conversations with. But yeah, so apparently from what I understand, it's just so people are, asking, it's like possession for what? I'm looking right now. Charge description, drugs, 5th degree. And charge description, possession of ammo and any firearm, user of controlled. So that's the charge right there. So yeah. It sucks. It's horrible. And I hope everything gets worked out for him and his family. That Umbrella guy tweeted out about it as well. So this is what that Umbrella guy had to say. Nick Rekieta has been arrested. It's like I said yesterday, he's crashing and people will cheerlead you to the bottom. I hope he gets his shit sorted and his kids are, 1, safe, and 2, this doesn't impact him having them. If he needs rehab and help, plenty of people will. So there you go. It's awful. It's terrible. And it's, it's sad to see. It's sad to see. And I hope everything gets worked out for him. So anyway, we'll move on from that and read some super chats. And I see Az is in my chat, which who the fuck invited him, by the way? Who the fuck invited him? All Az does is sends me pictures of all these G.I. Joes that I don't have. Because Az is a much more famous YouTuber and a more successful YouTuber than me, so he can afford to buy all of these awesome G.I. Joes. And he says, Jeremy, they were playing your anthem. Thank you, Az. I should have known you were talking shit. I'm glad I preemptively talked shit to you, because I should have known your super chat was talking shit to me. Hail ass. But yeah, let's see where we are. I gotta back up really quick. Catch up. Jim Daniels with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Jim Daniels. Appreciate that. Fable of Man says, is Az here? Here's some more money. Thank you, Fable of Man. I need it. Az is so much more popular and famous than me, and I'm trying. All right? I'm trying. Doing all I can. Let's see. Drunk 3PO $4.99 says for G.I. Joe. Let's see. There's Sumo Orange says Nick Rekieta just got arrested. Yes, I just covered that. Great Tang with the gifted membership. Thank you. Anima Chain says Trump's snake story is going to be read to my grandchildren at bedtime. Let's fucking go. Rye the guy says Trump is going to choke the snake of illegal immigration. Brer for 5 says, Jeremy, you see that Nick Rekieta, along with his wife and maybe another woman, was arrested today for possession. Yes, that's why I figured. I saw there was a lot of super chats coming in about it. So I was like, let me address this really quickly. It's not something I'm going to harp on. I'm not going to make streams on it. I'm not going to make full breakdown videos of it because I consider Nick, we're friendly friends, I guess you could call us friends. I've never had an issue with Nick, and he's always treated me, fairly. When we've had private conversations or we've, been at events together, he's always treated me fairly, and that's all I could ever ask out of anybody. So I hope everything gets worked out for him. Jim Daniels, there's that 20. Thank you. Jake CB says, I think Vivek writing parts of Trump's speeches now. Maybe. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, Trump bringing people together. Let's go. Objectively Cat says, to be frank, Az is easier on the eyes than you. That hurts. That hurts. That hurts. DM says, Jeremy, make a gold grill meme. He's the troll chat. Absolutely. Jenna Hughes with $100. While I enjoy ads of small doses, here's a tip for you because I can listen to you all day long with the heart. Also, hail the 199. You guys are the best. Maybe now I can get some of those G.I. Joes. And Az is always sending them to me. And just, I'm joking, obviously. Az sends me a lot of cool toys. I've sent him some of the cool ones I have. It's really awesome. But Az is the man. Mark of Reality says, looks like Nick and Kayla Rakeda and April, were there's some sort of swatting. That I don't know. So essentially, while I was live, I saw you guys talking about it. I sent some messages to some people, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? People in my chat are saying is this legit? I got people to confirm it for me. Had a few links, so I was looking over it while the Trump speech was going on. And, so I know as much as what's out there on the internet. That's all I know. Piano Dean becomes that Cobra legend. Cole Hauser says, USA, Trump 2024. Baby, we need Trump in Canada. We have a phony conservative here in Canada. I think I'm moving. 199. Yo, Joe. Praise Ara. Let's go. Ghost Crusaders TV, no swatting. Nick and them got caught with possession and firearm. Minimum 13 months. It says it was at their home, so CPS took the kids away. Again, these are super chats I'm reading. I'm not confirming any of that, but Ghost Crusaders TV with some updates. That is horrible if that's the case. I hate it, man. I really fucking hate it. It's sad. It's sad as fuck. Zevin Cross says, Vince McMahon voice, you're fired. Disaffected Scientist says, hold on, I'm coming. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier with a gifted membership. Thank you. I see Hawks says, fire rally tonight. MAGA. SLDR73, proud of my city tonight. Let's fucking go. Been a while since I've said this to you, brother, but MAGA Bama. MAGA Bama. There's Variants 5 gifted memberships. Drunk 3PO, I'm here to help. The Grand Duke of Tampa. LOL, I'd love to see D-Day Krista host one night. We got to get her a copy of your streaming outfit. We might can do that. Steel Valkyrie says, Trump will be remembered for making America great again. Biden will be remembered for the stare-hugging, hair-sniffing, and destroying America. The two couldn't be any more different. Trump is a legend. Absolutely. Drunk 3PO with a 99-cent super chat. Andrew CR says the only addiction Jeremy has is super chats. I do like super chats. Fable of Man says, oh, Jay's here. Here's some money. Oh, okay. So, oh, Jay's here. He gave me money because Jay's here. And then he gave me money because Az is here. That's the grift I need to do. Every time you see one of my friends in the chat, you send me money. I like that idea. Lying Dog Face Pony Soldier says, hail Drunk 3PO. Let's see where we're at. Looking right there. Joe Foss says, don't give this to Drunk 3PO. A Fable of Man says, hey, Az is here. Here's some money. Drunk 3PO says, for G.I. Joe. Az's Wonky Eyebrow says, grift harder for G.I. Joe for Az. There's Jenna Hughes, $100. Southeastern Kaiju. Nick's Liquor Cabinet is going to need a new home. I'm here. Blabs Tower Tart says, you should see about getting the AK guy on. I've been told that multiple times. Nick, let's see. Hudson says, as #1 Kiwi streamer in the chat. Waylon Jennings says, what do you suppose the Democrats will do to counter Trump's Bronx rally? That's a good question, actually. That's a very good question that I don't have the answer to. But they're very unhappy right now. You can guarantee that. They're very unhappy. Tenublet says, I'd rather trust a gold old boy from Alabama than a wonky-eyed, I don't know what that means. Oh, Kiwi from a land that doesn't exist. Sick Gossip says, it's great to see all these paid Democrat shills on X losing their minds, making up crap about Trump, slurring his words, and people leaving early. They do it all the time. Nagranal, if you fix the problem, you can't talk about it. Trump, exactly why Dems don't fix anything. 1,000%. 1,000%. Let's see. Tenublet says, oh, look, Beardo's here. I want my money back. Is Beardo in the chat, too? I mean, Beardo doesn't have, like, a check mark, so he's not that important. So he doesn't really stand out in the chat. So that's probably why I didn't see him. Over on, I'm sorry, I tried to get this one too when it came in, but Trump was talking and I didn't want to interrupt. But let me go back to it because it was a 50 from, I want to say it was Occupant. Yeah, Occupant 42 of 50 on Rumble says, what are the odds Trump flipping New York red for the election? 2 months ago, I would have said impossible, but after locking him in place for the trial, I'm not certain anymore. You know, I would have said no chance for sure, but I'm kind of with you at this point. Like, if they keep him there, it's kind of interesting, man. I think that there's, like, if Trump just keeps campaigning in New York, he may have a shot. He may have a shot. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy that Trump might have a shot in New York. It makes no sense. Let's see. JD Corey says, Nick breaks my heart, but he's helped through tough times. But he helped through tough times, and men repay their debts. Prayers for him. Well said. Bronsonite says, bruh, the fucking Don came in strong in the boogie down Bronx. Blown away, happily voting for the Orange Man, the Orange Menace for a third time. MAGA, my Bama. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier says, hail Beardo. Vault 95 says, dude, epic. Trump signs hats let's see. Trump signs hats, throws them into the crowd, then tosses the marker after he used it to the crowd. Got that screenshot. Trump is epic tier. He absolutely is. Vault 95 says, dude, best rally yet. Get Trump a grill and a G&G unit. Holy crap. Raider $103.47. And he says for Az and Mr. 3PO. Holy shit. Raider, you mad lad. Holy crap, man. Oh. That was funny as hell. Thank you, Raider. The true Mr. Gentleman says, this is legit one of the funniest and most relatable speeches he's ever given. I agreed. Vault 95 says, Trump is proving Republicans should be campaigning in New York and pro-Trump policies. New York and New York City loves Trump. Time to flip the blue states to Trump. Mark of Reality says, did he mention that he had the lowest black unemployment rate in modern history? Vault 95 says, CobraCast 199 5 days a week, or 5 days this week. Jeremy is takeover after the Bronx cheers for Trump. Let's see how those libertarians say Trump can't win their upcoming event. Trump 2024, J4 Vice Prez. Yes, well said indeed over there on Rumble. Appreciate you. All right. So what the hell am I doing here now? All right, I got to catch up on more super chats. You guys trying to overwhelm me. You're trying to overwhelm me. Southeastern Kaiju says, everything the media said about Trump was hilariously debunked with one freaking rally. Even the weather was glad to see him. 1,000%. Gunko Max says, the screaming British dude is more American than you. G.I. Joe is ashamed. Damn! You hear that one, Az? I got roasted. Fantastic Mr. Knox says, heard Nikki Haley is endorsing Trump. Thoughts? I think that's her just going, yeah, fucked up, and I'm trying to salvage what I can. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion. Beardo is low T, but props on the trailer. Amazing. Yes, the Epic Verse trailer is absolutely fantastic. Big props to him. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier with a gifted membership. Thank you. And we're going to call it there, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for all the donos. And thank you for all the love. Greatly appreciated. Trump is the man. Trump is crushing it. And I would just say to, again, just anybody out there that's struggling with shit, man, like, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody because it's scary stuff, man. And I really hate what we're seeing right now. But with Nick Rekieta, but I'm hoping everything will work itself out for him and for his family. It's going to take some time, and we'll look into the details. But again, I'm not going to make a point to make a big deal of this. So hopefully this is the last time I discuss it publicly. Maybe if there's new things that come up, it'll get discussed. But I'm just not into that type of internet shit. I would rather roast fucking crazy leftists that I fucking think are psychotic and bad for the country and bad for entertainment, not somebody that I actually know. So with that said, we're going to end it. You guys have a great night. I really do appreciate it. And I'll talk to all of you guys later. Trump 2024 to save America. Have a great night. I love you all. And subscribe to D-Day Cobra Clips, please. I keep forgetting to plug that. I'm terrible about promoting D-Day Cobra Clips. That's where a lot of this stuff gets clipped out and put on that channel. We need to hit 1,000 subscribers over there if possible. So D-Day Cobra Clips, if you can go and, subscribe to that channel, I would appreciate it. And other than that, I'll talk to all of you later. Trump 2024. Have a good night. Bye, everyone. Actually, we're going to end on Sabaton because the rally was good and we got to end on Sabaton. We're ending on Sabaton. Here we go.
Time to rule at last. 15 years held up in
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for the awesome stream. Love you all. I appreciate you all. Trump 2024, and we will talk to you later. Bye, everyone.